As election observers set their sights on the conduct of the Ekiti governorship election, major focus was on the Independent National Electoral Commission's readiness for the election, the high expectations on the use of new electronic gadgets in the election, and also being the first poll to be conducted under the new Electoral Act. Ekiti state election served as INEC's litmus test ahead of 2023 to ascertain how ready the electoral body is for the general elections. Joining us on the show this morning as we discuss INEC's view of the Ekiti election is Festus Okoye, INEC Commissioner for Information and Voter Education. Good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Yeah, good morning.
Dr. Okoye, it's good to see you again. Good morning. Well, we had a guest on this show this morning, the spokesperson to the Oyebanje campaign organization. And he was saying that INEC was compromised in that Ekiti election. But we drew his attention to the fact that some of the observers, Campaign for Democracy Development and Yaga Africa, both commended INEC in terms of the management of the elections and the effectiveness of the deployment of the beavers. But Moses Jolayemi and his principal, Sheguni, they are major stakeholders in this, and they were saying INEC was compromised. So, was INEC compromised? And what lessons has your organization learned from this entire process so far?
Well, the responsibility of the Independent National Electoral Commission is to organize, undertake, and supervise election. Our focus was on the processes and procedures for the conduct of the election. In the past, we had issues and problems and challenges with the issue of deployment of our materials and staff. So we focused on the issue of deployment, and from the report of observers, from the report of critical stakeholders, and from the report of political parties, it was very clear that as at 8:30 in the morning, over 90% of all the polls had already opened. We also focused our attention on the deployment of technology in the electoral process. And also from the report of independent observers, and also from the report of even international observers, it was very clear that the beavers performed optimally. You can also see that even in terms of result upload into our result viewing portal, as at 8 p.m. on election day, over 94% of the results had already come in real time. And so this election, the Ekiti election, was run transparently, and it was also run in a very accountable manner. And so as far as the commission is concerned, we performed very, very well in terms of our processes, in terms of our procedures, and also in terms of following our timelines that we embedded in our timetable and schedule of activities. So as far as the commission is concerned, we did very well in Ekiti, but we also learned a few lessons from the conduct of the election, which we are going to take to the Osun governorship election that will take place on the 16th day of July, 2022.
Can you share with us some of those lessons that you learned? And also, what is your reaction to a strongly worded letter written by SERAP to your chairman saying that if you do not prosecute those who were found to have been buying votes and ballot snatching and other electoral malpractice, if INEC fails to prosecute those people, then you will be facing legal action?
Well, I think that the era of giving ultimatum is no longer. I mean, the procedure and the process and giving ultimatum is no longer a very good way to go. I thought that what SERAC should do is to come and seek for an appointment with the Independent National Electoral Commission so that we can explain to them what the issues are in relation to the prosecution of electoral offenders. Now, at the level of the polling unit, you will agree with me, we have 4 officials at the level of the polling unit. The presiding officer, the assistant presiding officer 1, 2, and 3. The presiding officer is a core member. And there's a possibility that the presiding officer 1 is also a core member, and the rest may be students of federal tertiary institutions. So these are the people we have at the level of the polling unit. The commission does not have a police force of its own. Neither do we control the security agencies. So, when an infraction takes place at the level of the polling unit, it is the responsibility of the security agencies to carry out arrest, do their investigation, and then the report of those investigations and the arrest can now get to the commission before we will be in a position to prosecute. If no arrest is made, if no investigation is conducted, there is no way the commission can prosecute. So our position has been, we are too busy with the processes and procedures of conducting elections. And we have made it very clear. We went to the National Assembly and urged them to bring into being an Electoral Offences Commission and Tribunal that will take responsibility for the arrest, investigation, and prosecution of electoral offenders so that we can concentrate on our core mandate, which is the conduct of elections. So I think that those who are giving ultimatum to the Independent National Electoral Commission are not going the right direction. What they should do is to seek an appointment with the Independent National Electoral Commission. We will sit down and dialogue, and then they will also tell us in what areas they can be of assistance, so that together we can make our electoral process very credible. But the issue of giving ultimatum will not work in this particular instance.
Okay, sir, I was looking at something with keen interest yesterday, and I'll bring it forward, and I'm sure Dr. Abati will also fleshing it up. The case of, the recognition, according to the law, section 31 to 34, 33 to 34, where it is said that the candidate has to participate in the primaries before he can emerge. What's happening with the case with Akpabio? And also juxtapose that with what is happening to the Senate president now. Can you throw more light on that for us?
Now, I will not go into specifics relating to particular candidates that have been nominated or have not been nominated. I will just tell you what the issues are, what the processes are, and what the procedures are. Now, basically and fundamentally, the conduct of party primaries is within the domestic realm of each political party. Section 82 of the Electoral Act obligates every political party that wants to conduct party primaries to give the Independent National Electoral Commission the 21 days mandatory notice of its intention to conduct party primaries. Now, if a political party does not give the Independent National Electoral Commission this 21 days notice, whatever it does becomes invalid. Now, the 18 registered political parties gave the commission this 21 days notice, and we gave them the leeway, we gave them the able room to go and conduct their party primaries. They did the screening of their candidates. They chose the venue for where they want to conduct their party primaries, and they chose the time. Now, the procedure is that when a political party is conducting its party primaries, it will give us as I pointed out, the venue and the time. And then we will send monitors to these places. We will monitor the conduct of such primaries and then issue a report. Thereafter, we will give the national chairman of every registered political party that conducted party primaries an access code with which they will upload the list and personal particulars of their nominated candidates. When they are doing this upload, the commission is not there. Now, they have done this upload into our INEC candidates nomination portal. And the portal shut down at 6 p.m. on the 17th day of June 2022. Our responsibility this time around is to publish the list and personal particulars of the nominated candidates in their constituencies within a period of 7 days. And that's exactly what we are going to do. Section 285 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is the fundamental law of the land, obligates any aspirant that is aggrieved by the processes and procedures for the conduct of the party primaries, somebody who is aggrieved with whether the provisions of the Electoral Act has been violated or the provisions of the Constitution has been violated, or that the rules and regulations and guidelines of his or her political party has been violated, to seek redress before a federal high court. And if the federal high court comes to the conclusion or makes a determination that the Electoral Act has been violated or the rules and guidelines of the political party has not been complied with, it will make the necessary determination and issue the necessary orders, which we are constitutionally and legally bound to obey. So that is where we are as of today. So we have not published the list and personal particulars of the nominated candidates. I have not even seen the list of the nominated candidates because these things have been downloaded nomination center. We are concerned has been nominated and who has not been nominated. Everything you are hearing emanates from the political parties themselves and not from the commission. The commission, you will hear from the commission the moment we publish.
Okay. Dr. Okoye, look, this is a very simple and straightforward matter. In the last few days, we've been hearing of placeholders for presidential candidates. And the excuse that they give is that there is a window till August when they can substitute. Is there room for placeholders, particularly with regard to presidential candidates, within the purview of Section 31 and 33 of the Electoral Act? Is it legal to put forward placeholders, considering the fact that the position of a vice president is not an appointive position, it's actually an elected position, as has been proven in AGF versus Abubakar. Now, in Section 81 of the Act and Section 84(1) of the Act and Section 84(13) of the same Act, it is clearly stated that to nominate a candidate, that candidate must have taken part in a primary. In 84(13), it is said that, look, INEC will not accept the nomination of somebody who did not take part in the primary. And the issue in the Ahmad Lawan case in Yobe North was that Ahmad Lawan, the Senate president, did not take part in the primaries. He was at the time busy with his presidential aspiration. And then the man that won, Machani, he is saying that he is good enough to also be a senator of the Federal Republic. And having won, his name cannot be removed. And he has threatened to go to court. What we just need is just clarification.
Well, there are two basic issues you have raised. The issue of whether there's a place for a placeholder in both our constitutional and legal framework. The Constitution makes it very clear that you cannot run alone as a presidential candidate, that you must nominate an associate to run with you for that particular position. As far as the Independent National Electoral Commission is concerned, the political parties have nominated an associate to run with them as presidential candidates. So as far as we are concerned, there is no form submitted by any of the political parties in terms of their nominations where they said, oh, we are submitting this person's name as a placeholder or a space holder or a vacuum holder. No. The issue of space holder or placeholder is a unique Nigerian invention that has no place in our constitutional and legal framework. What is in issue is that the political parties have nominated an associate to run with them as their vice presidential candidates, and that is the position of the law as of today, and nothing has changed. In relation to your second issue, I completely agree that somebody who has not contested party primaries may not be in a position to be nominated as a candidate. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission is not in a position as at now to make a determination in relation to what you are saying, or to make a determination in relation to whose name was submitted by each political party. The commission monitored the primaries of the different political parties, their senatorial primaries, primaries to House of Representatives, and so on. And we have our report. So if there's somebody who emerged from that party primaries, if somebody's name is submitted, it is the responsibility of that particular individual to utilize the provisions of Section 285 of the Constitution, Section 84 of the Constitution, and also Section 84 of the Electoral Act and Section 29 of the Electoral Act to seek redress before a properly constituted court of law. Moreover, what the law provides is that at the end of this nomination process, if any of the candidates that has been properly and constitutionally nominated withdraws in writing with a sworn affidavit, that the political party that nominated him must and shall conduct fresh party primaries within a period of 14 days and then make such a replacement. But the person must withdraw in writing through a letter submitted to the political party that nominated him, together with an affidavit indicating that he or she has voluntarily withdrawn from the race. And so that is the state of the law, and that's the state of the nomination process as of today.
Right, there's this apocryphal Winston Churchill quote that the best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter. And it certainly holds true in Nigeria, where we saw people selling their vote for as little as 500 naira. What are you, who is responsible for voter education, doing to educate the Nigerian voter to just desist from these practices?
Well, this issue is not just the responsibility of the Independent National Electoral Commission. It is the responsibility of the Nigerian people. It is the responsibility of all the critical stakeholders in the electoral process to find ways and means of sanitizing the electoral process so that we can give meaning and value and potency to the vote. The Independent National Electoral Commission has done its own bit by securing the secrecy of the vote through re-engineering the place of the voting process, through making sure that the voting compartment is secret, and also insisting that people should not go into the voting compartment with photographic equipment to photograph how they voted. But our electoral process is organized in such a way that what we have is open secret ballot. You make your thumbprint in secret, and then you vote in the open. And this is what some of them have been exploiting. I think that the basic issue is that we must take our advocacy, we must take our grievances to the political parties and the candidates and the aspirants who go to corrupt the average Nigerian voter, relying on their vulnerabilities, relying on the poverty of our people, and also relying on some other variables within our contest.
Okay.
So I think that is where we should focus our attention.
Okay, in 1 minute, please give us a definitive yes or no. Are you saying that the political parties that have put placeholders now, the APC, the Labour Party, and other political parties, are you saying that they cannot change again the vice presidential candidate that have put him as placeholder, or they can change? Yes or no? Quickly, sir.
No, what I'm saying is that there is period for withdrawals. If any of the vice presidential candidates withdraws in writing with a sworn affidavit within the time frame we prescribed by the law and the timetable, then there can be a replacement. But that must be in writing with a sworn affidavit.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Festus Okoye, for joining us on the morning show.